higher, but, you know, not in the same way that SOS is, the same severity. But just that I think he seems to latch on to certain metas and builds that it feels like other Terrans kind of let go. You know, some of the 2-base tank SEV pulls seem more common with time whenever I cast them. You know, kind of throwing back to even some of the days where we were 2-base all-inning. With the desperation against Protoss. It kind of feels like time is more apt to do that type of thing rather than just do, you know, 50% of his builds as the 1-1-1 into sim combat shields. He does the proxy barracks, he does, which is what he's doing, he does the Hellion opener, which has definitely come back into play in a big way. It actually feels like every single Terran might be doing Hellion openers, rather. But anywho, my point was, it's not going to be just straight up macro gentleman's game between these two guys, and they both are going to be the reason for it. The bottom left is the red Terran sending out that SCV. He is time for Kaizi Gaming. In the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, still on Jin Air, pretty sure, he is SOS, and he also sent out a probe, but that was a probe scout. More importantly, he sent out a probe to go for a low ground natural, which he has been doing in many of his matchups on Golden Wall. Once again, I have to direct your attention to my adorable cat. Are you being super, super cute? And also making it hard to observe? Yes, you are. You are, yeah. There you go. He's like, this hand moves constantly. That's a good place to sit. Alright, so some harassment from the probe does also get a lot of information, so that barracks is a little bit too late to begin with, and then having a depot block you out from further scouting. You know. Protoss knows. The question is more, is it double proxy like Reaper? Is it like kind of like a TvT thing? Are you going to show up with 3 Reapers in my base? Or is it, well, this? And it's this. A Marine out from the at-home barracks, Marauders out from the proxy barracks. It does change things up a little bit. I mean, if you had any indication that it was a Reaper build, you would want to build a shield battery in the main base, but not only is that just like not what you would expect from a single proxy barracks, it's also just not what you would expect on Golden Wall. You know, if you wall off your natural, which SOS did, and which he does commonly do, there's not many options into the main base. So, even if it was Reapers, shield battery the natural makes the most sense. But because it is Marauders and Marines, the shield battery in the natural is a godsend. Is it enough? Single stock are going to pop out to help this sentry. Twilight Count's not going to be able to help very much right now. Force field is going to come down, but that Marauder on the backside can still target down the shield battery. One Marauder goes. Marines can also still target fire it down. Ooh, that slight, imagine if that was just slightly back. Imagine, that shield battery is not dead. He's desperately trying to plant down another one. He pulls the probes into this, so some probes will go down, but is that going to be enough damage? Another Stalker goes down. The SCV actually trying to go for the kill, but the Marauder will be able to grab it. Every single Stalker has gone down, and this bunker, I didn't think it was actually going to get up and running, but it absolutely is. That shield battery is not going to be done in time, and my goodness, did time just make this work. The shield battery is doing an amazing job of holding that sentry as the last stand, but is a sentry really what you want to depend on? Maybe. That bunker's not being repaired. It's about to go down thanks to the probes. And again, that sentry, what a hero. And the probes surround on the Marauder. I think maybe SOS has done it. No overcharge of the shield battery. It's completely out of juice. Warp gate's done, so he'll have another warp in very, very soon as the Stalker pops out. Another shield battery comes down. He's got 2 now on the way. And I think SOS has successfully repelled this, but my god, did it get close. And that flipping sentry! How is it alive? There is no world where this sentry is supposed to be alive. What? Now time is like, well, shit. Time was hoping for, like, straight up a Nexus kill. You know, just get rid of the Nexus entirely. Or 10 to 15 probe kills, ideally. You something along those lines. And instead, he is forced to pull back. He's trying to get a command center on the location, which will work out. I mean, Golden Wall has a natural ramp, so it's a little bit easier to defend even without a bunker. So there is that. But that was not exactly ideal, as sOs continues with the probe production, so he's going to keep that probe lead, and then he's going to go for some Dark Templar. And there's nothing that Time can do to scout this. Proxy Barracks flies home, because he does need that production. There is no Warp Prism, as no Robo was created, so that's the good news. If Time is paying very close attention to his ramp, and he could get a really good scan and save the day. But it's not just a dark, of course it's not just a Dark Shrine. We got Blink on the way for Dark Shrine, Shadow Stride, as well as Charge. So I expect to see a lot of gateways. We got one started. We'll see if he's gonna go for the all-in. Maybe he's thinking macro DT Shadow Stride, which apparently is a thing. I don't know, though. I would expect it to something else. Okay, he sees it. I think he sees it. I think he sees it. Oh my god, does he not see it? Oh my god, it was right up in your grill. Oh, he sees it. Okay. Engineering Bay comes down. Scan is used on one DT, but unfortunately the other one is not going to be in scan range. You do want to save that depot, not just because you want to save a depot, but because you don't want to let another DT in. 2 scans are available, but I think that's about it. Yeah, that is actually about it. Just coincidentally, having enough in the main base as well. But there's more gateways on the way. He's gotten all the gases, because you do want to afford the Dark Templars as well as the charge lots. But, yeah. 6 gateways. No mules, really, for Time, now that he has to worry about DTs. And a tank is no longer the ultimate defense you were hoping for. Oh no, Time is gonna go for a push right into the Maws of the Beast. No, don't do it. No. Oh wait, well, it's gonna be awkward. Shadow Stride in the natural is going to be a disaster. It's gonna go after Stim. Time trying to push, and what he's hoping is going to be a third Nexus, greedy sOs. Actually, third Nexus is on the way, but oh, before the third Nexus, there's a bunch of charge lots. There's Shadow Striding into your main base, and this does not feel so good. Uh-oh. There's no... Ah, he's trying to save the missile turret. Doesn't gonna work out. Not gonna work out. He's gonna have to use a scan. His army does pull back, and I mean, Time's pretty good. He at least gets one drop going to try and do some return harassment. Scan does take care of nothing, actually. The DT is barely Shadow straight out of there, so 13 workers have died. Stim was actually not denied. He went right for the economy, so 14 workers are dead, putting Time at 26 to 44. Reactor for the Widow Mine is going to be taken down. The drop actually decides to come back home as he realizes I'm about to be all in. sOs has no upgrades. His third Nexus is not going to have that many probes transferred over into it. He is looking to kill Time. And Time is hoping that maybe he'll overinvest. But the bunker's not done. The tanks are going to do a terrible job against the Zealots. Actually, a pretty good shot right there. With the Marines coming down one at a time and no bunker to save them, I'm not sure it's going to be a hold, or maybe it will be. Oh my god, today is the day of terrible calls. sOs forced to retreat, but still grabs 6 SCVs, grabs the tank, and doesn't really have to worry about being pushed. So he doesn't win right there, but he absolutely is winning. As the Forge finishes up, he'll finally have his own upgrade on the way. 9 more SCVs died in the main base, so Time's still at half the workers of his opponent, and is probably just going to pull the SCVs, if I had to guess. Pull it with combat shields. I don't think you play a macro game. That's annoying. So annoying to have to make another missile turret. But it's even more annoying to have to make a Raven. That was an easy pickoff. Third Nexus is now getting some probes on it, but even then, not a whole lot. sOs maybe chronoing more on the Blink and +1, getting his defenses up. Doesn't want to lose this game to something silly. He's got a DT acting as an observer, also acting as a buffer. You have to scan every inch. You gotta scan. DT is thinking about the main, but he says, okay, now I'm gonna go for the army and force out another scan. How many more scans he got here? He's got 2 in the making, but they're not ready, so this DT is gonna get some shots. With combat shields done, they don't one-shot the Marines. Is something. Oh, look at that army. Oh, look at them. Oh, and the blink. Oh my god. Oh no. GG! SOS. Yeah. I mean, as soon as he defended the proxy, he was already in a great position, but I think if Time didn't have an immediate problem, he could have made some magic out of the follow-up, but the DTs provided that immediate problem. Good guy SOS lets him finish. Game number 2 already prepared. Everdream. Let's see if Time does any more proxies. I mean, that proxy can work. We've seen it before. But I think it's also... It's kind of lost its... what's the word for new? There's a more sophisticated word than freshness, but it's not so fresh anymore. It kind of pops up and everyone's like, what? No, you can't do that. And then it disappears, and then later on it pops up and people go, oh wait, yeah, that thing existed. But right now it feels like, I don't know, of all the TvPs I've seen on Golden Wall, of which there are not too many, I see a lot of TVZs on the map, it does feel like a lot of them have that proxy barracks. So I do think SOS already had that kind of in his mind. He's already thinking about it, and while the hold was still very close, it certainly helped that he was thinking about it. So if Time has another plan here, or maybe on another map, because he'll do it twice in a row, that might go better. In the bottom left, down 1, he is Time, and he is sending out an SCV. In the top right, as the pink Protoss, he is SOS, and once again going for the scouts after Gateway, low ground. Whoa. I saw it on the mini-map and was like, oh, I just, you know, I miss seeing it. I'm pretty sure it's just up here, and then, well... It's not. But it's not, like, we see low ground gateways on other maps. More where it can kind of move in with the wall, but this is just out there, man. Huh. Huh. Well, so the forward gateway can be very scary for the Terran player. But funnily enough, because the Terran player is going for a kind of not proxy, but still one base build, it's now SOS's turn to be like, well, do I want to use this offensively? Don't I just lose my units if I go over across the map? I mean, at least he has Gateway Cybernetics Core instead of Gateway's Nexus, which, I mean, Cybernetics Core before Nexus is kind of common anyways, regardless if you're Scout, but oh my god. I can't believe he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna recall into the main base of Time. Oh, that is so dangerous. But he's thinking that the barracks won't be able to help. So, okay. Alright. So, Nexus in the main base seems kind of memey, but it actually does work. You recall units, and Terran relies a lot on a bunker or a wall in the early game, regardless of their build opener, to actually hold. In this case, having a faster factory than usual is helpful, but I think what SOS was hoping for was that... No, actually, I can't tell you. I can't say that. I was gonna say I think that SOS was hoping the barracks wouldn't have any units to help kill the Nexus. But even with 2 Reapers or 2 Marines or what have you, like a Nexus doesn't go down that fast. So the recall almost always goes off, unless you also like surround it with SCVs, which time is not done. But the barracks also, like, it could have just gone for the attack. There's no shield battery back at home, which is what I thought SOS was going to do to take care of any proxy Reaper shenanigans. But yeah, even though he never scouted the proxy barracks. He still does the Nexus. He's not going to go for the recall, though. The bunker, so strong. The Reapers returning home a little bit too strong because they don't kill the Nexus very fast. They still help kill the Adepts or Stalkers or whatever it is recalled. It's something that time has to take care of, though. And SOS still has to be worried about other proxies, which I guess is what he was scouting for, despite actually seeing a starport and a factory back at home. And this game is just flipping crazy. Like, this is just so stupid. I love that time is like, what else is this guy gonna do? What the hell? And he puts the Wood of Mine initially in an Oracle position, but goes, you know what, I don't need it, I'm okay. Now picks up the Wood of Mine drop and goes for the actual attack. There is an Oracle on the way, though, funnily enough. It's just not proxied. And a Phoenix follows up immediately as SOS did see the Wood of Mines. He saw the Wood of Mines. He saw nothing on the starport. Would have known it was going to be a Wood of Mine drop. And this is just so funny. It's just actually so funny how this game is still kind of even. And one could even argue slightly in favor of time because his worker count's really good. But what is what's going to happen here? Not much. Good defense. A couple Reapers in the natural, however, are taken care of by the Oracle. Picked up by the medevac. Are you kidding me? What? Who would do that? Who does that? The Oracle's like, do I pop another pulsar beam? Like, do I though? Phoenix take care of it. Medevac lives. Medevac lives. Time slaps down his command center on location as an orbital with only 1 less worker, which is supposed to be very good for the Terran. SOS now has units that don't seem like they're going to do very much, as opposed to having Twilight Council already done and researching Blink. So time has managed to come out ahead here, which sounds right for someone who literally let a Nexus finish in the main base. But again, as memey as that sounds and as memey as that looks, and as much of a SOS special as it is, 100%, it actually isn't that bad. Sometimes. I think in this game, it was bad. I'm kind of still sticking with the, I think SOS thought the proxy was going to be elsewhere. Like, it was actually proxied, and I can't even say that 100% though. I can't even say that confidently. Both of their brains right now are an enigma to me. Okay? And all I can tell you is that time might be down 4 workers. That's fine for TvP. And his army supply is much better. And time just looks like he's gonna win. I think he just wins. Shield batteries can only help so much against Cyclone power, plus the tank moving forward. Pylon depowers 2 gateways, and that's actually a lot of SOS's production. Hold on here. Is that all of his production? He's got 1 gateway. He's trying to work on charge. He's trying to get the DTs, but the missile turrets are already prepared. Time knows exactly what SOS would do in this situation. And while charge is a very good thing to have against this type of push, you need charged lots. Currently, SOS has 3. SOS, stop it. Stop it.
Twitch Prime summit received. Thank you for...
Oh, what is this game? There's no way SOS wins. No, I refuse to believe that he wins. A DT got into the main, and an Oracle is with 2 DTs got in the natural. What is... No. No, 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 no. SOS does not win this game. No. I hate that he's trying. A scan reveals the DTs, but the Marines get killed by the Oracle. The SCVs barely take down SOS's DT, but another one is there anyways. The Oracle's still going strong. 23 SCVs have been killed. He's just forced to bring the SCVs over to the other side of the map, I think. God damn it. Another scan that isn't effective because the Viking got lifted by the Phoenix, and that was supposed to kill the DT, and another couple of Zealots are in the natural, and SOS is actually forcing a goddamn base trade! How? And the missile turret's not close enough anymore, so this DT is actually, he's one-shotting the Marines, because combat shields isn't done. Another scan comes down, but eventually he will have to lift his command centers, and that will take away his scan capabilities. Time is out feeling the urgency to end this game, but he doesn't know about the hidden nexus of which probes have been recalled to, and SOS now has such a significant worker lead. He needs to start producing. He needs that production, and only just finished on the main base. It's about to be tackled. He's gonna lose his Dark Shrine. He needs just units. He needs a 7X core. And he didn't have a pylon. He's trying to build pylons now so he can start his production again. But it's so late. His Dark Shrine goes down. His 7X core is already dead. He's down to just being able to build charge lots and probes. But will that be enough? Stim actually injures a lot of these Marines, but it is going to work in this fight. Phoenix has come forward to lift the Vikings out of the equation. The tank's still doing a lot of damage, however. All of the probes back at home die. And the Marines absolutely slaughtered this fight. But SOS is not going to give up. He has taken down the natural. He's forced the lift off on all of the buildings. And oh my god, wait, what? The command centers died! What? Time let his command centers die? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. What? Oh my god, SOS is going to win this goddamn game. No! Time, he was not paying attention. DTs and charge lots killed his command centers. He doesn't have any more scans. He has one worker and 100 minerals. He can build one more missile turret. I mean, he could salvage his bunkers, but oh my god! No! What? What the fuck? Oh man, that game actually, I forgive SOS for defeating Jaedong in the BlizzCon finals in 2014. A 6-year grudge has finally been cleared because of that game. I don't even know how you recover mentally from that. Maybe it's just so absurd you don't even worry about it. But time is now down 2 games as we head into Ice and Chrome. I'm just like, I'm watching it on the delay. Because it's so stupid. It's so insane. And SOS just like, he made it look like it was his plan. He was just like so prepared. He was like, yeah, I get a Nexus, and then I just, you know, warp in, and it's like, I'm fine. I'm like, what's the problem? I don't understand. Do other people not win that game? Huh? It's so easy. Fucking SOS, man. In the bottom left is the Red Terran. He is Time. And in the top right as the Pink Protoss, it's SOS. Thank you very much, Gelneck, for that Prime sub. I don't know if I missed these guys. Papa Mitch for 6 months. I am the Lex for 16 months, but thank you very much. Time had such a good answer to everything that happened in that game. He was in such a good position. There is no reason why his push would actually be the incorrect move against a normal player. And now, of course, SOS follows up that incredibly tilting game and builds a proxy gateway before going for the scout. Time's still gonna commit to the one base stuff, building his barracks closer and closer to home with every iteration. He's got a factory in the natural, so SOS, if he had just left, if he had actually just gone right then, he might not have scouted what this was, but he got back in, saw a supply depot, and believe it or not, that's enough to tell. Could be mind games, I guess, but yeah, that's enough to tell. They're not building command center after that barracks. They're holding off on it. So that's going to put a bit of a damper in SOS's plan. A wall is going to be available, and a factory is going to be faster. So, things that his build doesn't want to deal with, but is prepared to, while hopefully delaying a natural CC. So, it's a little bit awkward right now, but Time is going to go for a Hellion, which doesn't actually help that much against Stalkers. He's going to need to go ahead and transfer that over to yeah, okay, there we go. I was going to say transfer over to a tech lab would build a Widow Mine, but I think he realized, okay, that was way too fast. So he builds a bunker, and that should be enough. That should be fine. Command center goes down, so it is a factory. Well, actually, starport's done, but it's still not a very committed one-base build, right? So not many add-ons. Forced to build a bunker, but that's because SOS continues to be SOS. But otherwise, it's getting a pretty well-timed expansion. Once again, we have that weird game where, like, yeah, it feels like high ground, later CC should be bad. SOS also gets a later Nexus because he went for a proxy gateway, and he also fit in a Stargate before that Nexus. So if his Stargate doesn't do damage, I would feel better about Time's position, but you aren't supposed to be able to do any Hellion drops or Liberator harassment against the Stargate opener, so it's like, well, no one should really be doing damage to each other. And if no one does damage to each other, who actually ends up ahead? I don't know. But with the Hellions and the Medevac, this could actually get complicated. Stalkers in the natural, not a whole lot of probes to kill because the Nexus was later. Shield battery in the main is pretty important. Okay. Probe's going to be taken out on the transfer there. Phoenixes probably are supposed to ensure the death of the Medevac, but Time was very clever with how I used it last game. Not going to bother trying to shade trick, just let the Adept die. I mean, wouldn't a probe be better to use there? I don't know. Maybe Adept was better. It's not like he can use the Adept, but he could use a probe. I don't know. Bunker is going to finish up in the natural, so I still feel like it's better for Time, but Phoenixes should be able to grab a couple SCVs here and there. Or not. Oh, wow, okay. Cyclone and Viking are already prepared. That Cyclone, like, popped out as a Phoenix swooped in, so that was a deadly combination against Phoenix, so no, I take that back. The Phoenixes won't get much damage done at all, and with Time going for combat shields first, he is just cemented now to us that he is actually going to go for another push, which feels very dangerous to do after losing that last game, but that's the type of player that Time is. I was trying to describe this insistence, the way that he just insists on playing some of these wackier builds earlier on in the series, and now at least I'm being proven right, and SOS has also done really weird things. So I was right. I said this is going to be a weird series because of both of them. I feel like if Time just played a normal game last game, just macroed up last game, he probably still wins. If he just played a normal game this game and just getting stim and combat shields, but not dedicating to an actual push, I think he wins. With him dedicating to a push, I would actually be like, yeah, this makes sense, except that SOS is SOS. And I don't think it's going to work because SOS is like literally my defense because SOS. Time does fall down in probes pretty significantly, or rather SCVs. So we would have been at 35 to 44, which wouldn't be bad at all, but now down 14 workers. That's pretty tough for the mules to recover from. He's not pulling all of the probes. Damn it, SCVs, sorry. He's not pulling all the SCVs, but he is pulling some. And as we can see, Sim is going to be much later, so... There's the attack that SOS maybe would have been prepping for regardless. He doesn't know if it's Stim or combat shields, but he saw the SCVs be pulled. He knows that Time likes his 2-base attacks, and he does have a shield battery very far ahead. He's got a little more of a standard composition, but he is going into Robotics Bay for Disruptor. Still more standard than what happened last game, but a little off kilter. Time might not be prepared for this. Now, a tank takes 2 Disruptor shots to kill. So it's not going to be the easiest answer here. But it is an answer. If you can wait, buy some time for 2 Disruptors, if you can even get 1 Colossus, that's actually not bad either. It can't take a tank down very fast, but a Colossus can help you against the weak Marines, even with their combat shields. Oh my god! Oh my god, he was not prepared for that Disruptor shot. And that's like game. That is so bad. Phoenixes catch all the reinforcements. The tanks are, yep, GG. I can't even right now. I can't even. SOS with the 3-0. Godlike performance. I think he just knew what time was going to do that last.